Hello and welcome. I'm 𝗪𝗔𝗠𝗡, publisher at Summit Press Publishers.
And I'm Walt Hampton, Director of Acquisitions at Summit Press. Welcome to our program, How to Publish Your Book so that you can make a big impact and a lot of money. With an expert positioning book, there are extraordinary opportunities.
With an expert positioning book, you'll be able to stand out in a noisy world as a category authority and go-to expert. You'll be able to draw clients to you, get interviews, speak on stages, command big fees, charge more for your current services, and serve those who can't afford your higher ticket offer.
With a published book out in the world, and what you'll be able to do with that book, like transform it into workshops, keynotes, you'll be seen as an expert in your industry and leverage the power of that book to make you a lot of money.
Like John Courtine, who's known as Courtine. Courtine is an influential professional in the financial services industry and an expert in what it takes to create engaged cultures in financial services firms. He wanted to create a paid program for financial service owners. Clearly, he knew a lot about the topic, but he was having a hard time organizing his content. We interviewed him intensively, then Ghost wrote a book, developing not only the content and structure for the book, but for his program. His book became a bestseller, landing him on national stages. And here's the really cool part. Even before the book hit the shelves, Courtine had sold more than $250,000 of his program.
So we're going to walk you through step by step the process we take our authors through so that you can enjoy the kind of meteoric success of a John Courtine. We'll also tell you about the traditional publishing world and the pitfalls for the unwary in the publishing industry. But before we do that, let us tell you just a bit about Summit Press. Summit Press Publishers is a boutique independent publisher that specializes in highly polished nonfiction books that mean business. We position our authors as authorities in their areas of expertise. Our objective is to attain for our authors a high return on the investment that they make in their books. Summit Press is also uniquely positioned to support its authors in the creation of programs and products attendant to their books, such that their books become the catalyst for significant streams of revenue. Summit Press proudly distinguishes itself from the anachronistic traditional publishing houses. Summit Press does not require formal book proposals. Our authors reach the market in months rather than in years. They maintain a high level of creative and editorial control of the publication of their books, and they enjoy above-market royalty payouts. Most importantly, our authors retain all of their intellectual property for all time. I'll tell you more about this in a bit. Our authors come to us at various stages in the writing and publishing process. Some of them have just an idea. Others have a fully developed manuscript ready for publication. Our team can guide you through each stage, regardless of your starting place. Let's look at each step of the process.
We begin with the writing process. Okay, what does the writing process include? The big idea. What we call this the thesis statement, the concept upon which we build your book. What separates your book from similar books on the market? Then we dig into how the big idea relates to your business. If, for instance, you help folks with chronic pain, why would you write a book about work-life balance? How does work-life balance speak to those in chronic pain? Why would this topic lead the reader to want more of what you offer? Then we dig into how the big idea relates to what you want to do with the book. Do you want the reader to get to chapter 2 and skim ahead wondering what courses you offer so they can sign up and work with you? Is there a related course that you offer, or an event, a service, or membership that dives deeper into the book topic? Then we get to the working title. Some people come to me with a working title alone, and 90% of the time, the title is clever, or it's like an inside joke of sorts to a warm audience. But the job is to create a title that speaks to the promise of your book and hooks your reader, a complete stranger. We need a title that not only hooks strangers, but is searchable on platforms, particularly Amazon. Does your title have keywords that get searched? Then we develop the manuscript. Maybe we're working with what you already have, and this could involve having a coach develop and structure your book with you. Or maybe it involves book doctoring, where we bring an expert editor on our team to take a look at your manuscript and turn it into gold without much effort on your part. Maybe we're starting from the very beginning, from scratch. Well, this could involve getting our coaching team involved, getting your big idea down on the page and developed with you. Or ghostwriting, where our experts interview you, find the core idea, and develop the book while you work on some other aspect of your business. Then we take your manuscript over to the publishing process, where our professional editors step in and clean up your sentences and the flow of your paragraphs. Our proofreaders go over your manuscript with a fine-tooth comb, looking for the spelling errors and the drop letters or the spaces most authors can't see. Then we design a cover that speaks to the promise of your book and the target reader, as opposed to matching the branding on your website or including your child's artwork, as lovely as it might be. Then our interior design team lays out your content in the pages of a book. There's a real art to this. We want your book to be clean, readable, and consumable in every way possible. We then print and distribute your book without you having to handle payments or run to the post office every time someone orders your book. You enjoy the royalties, up to 70% of the list price of your book, and more about that in a little bit.
So when you're done writing your book and it's published, now it's time to do the work to get it out into the world in a big way. This can come as a bit of a shock to authors and can be super demoralizing, unless, of course, you've worked with us. We have a deep bench in the marketing world. Long before your book goes to press, we will position you in the marketplace and support you at every step of the marketing and distribution process. The big houses expect you to come to the table with what we call a platform. The big houses want a huge platform. And for them, this usually means an email list of 50,000 names and emails or more, and thousands of followers on social media. Many of our authors have been busy building their businesses, serving clients. And having an already existing platform is a bit of a foreign concept. So we get busy early on helping our authors build their platforms so that by the time they're launching their books, they've got an audience of buyers hungry for their work. For example, when we first began our work with Courtine, he had no website or LinkedIn profile or social media presence when it came to his book idea. But by the time his book was launched and his course rolled out, people were frothing for it and standing at his doorstep. I mentioned list building and having a list. Having a large and engaged list is a critically important part of a marketing strategy. We took Courtine's list from hundreds to over 100,000. And while that number sounds impressive, what matters even more is how interested and engaged that list is. So we help our authors build that interest and engagement so that your list is a ready-made audience of eager buyers. Now, the book gets published and it's out in the world, and people talk a lot about book launches, and book launches are important, but many people think about a book launch like a party. Well, you can do a party, but a book launch really isn't that. It's a critical marketing juncture, an event where we create momentum and velocity, driving sales through a funnel of time so that you get on the map quickly and powerfully. And part of this may mean bestseller. Bestseller status matters a lot to many, if not most of our authors. And we can virtually guarantee that we can use your launch to make you a best-selling author. Now, we've talked about your list and those people who are interested and engaged. How do you get total strangers to purchase your book? Well, you go out and you do advertising on platforms like Amazon. Amazon ads are based on searchable keywords specific to that platform. This is how you invite even more people, not just to read your book, but to enter into your world as raving fans. We'll get you on podcasts to showcase your book and your expertise. We'll help you craft your press releases and create your public relations strategy. We'll teach you all about the power of affiliate marketing. We'll help you create and engage on key social media platforms. And a little known fact of little interest until it is, there are outlets for big bulk purchases of certain books. We'll walk you through the identification and the contacts of those sources as well.
Okay, where is the real money to be had from a book? We've already told you about Courteen's multi-six-figure program sales even before the release of his book. But where else does the money come from? It comes from royalties and programs and products, speaking on stages, seminars and workshops, and recurring revenue streams. So let us tell you about Roland, who's still writing his book. We helped Roland launch a free 5-day challenge to promote his work that helps loan officers create unique brand identities. Roland still had a list of less than 1,000 people, but listen up. He enrolled 1,050 people in his challenge, and at the end of the challenge, he netted over $150,000. A lot of authors think that the money comes from the sale of their books. If you're Barack Obama or Bill Clinton, that may be true. But let's do some math. If you publish with a big house, the average royalty you'll be paid is maybe $1.50 per copy sold. And let's say that you sell out their average print run of 5,000 copies. That's $7,500. That'll get you a nice vacay, but it's hardly going to support you in the lifestyle you'd like to become accustomed to. Where the big money comes with a book is with speaking fees, earning, for example, $10,000 to $20,000 for a keynote, or $5,000 to $10,000 for seminars and workshops. And bigger still is with a program that makes you money while you sleep, with sales anywhere between $4.97 per unit sold to $9.97 to $19.97 to Courteen's $4,997 and Roland's $25,000 offering. Now we're talking about real money that will not only allow you to make the impact you want, but also create real prosperity and freedom. That's what we want for our authors.
And some of our authors, they want to get their books published by the big houses. And there's nothing wrong with that. We can help.
We'll help you write that book proposal that agents will fight over. And speaking of agents, Summit Press works with some of the best in the industry. We've helped authors get the best deals with their sharply crafted book proposal that ticked all the boxes, like Una Duncan, author of Healthy as Fuck, like Mary Barbera, author of turn autism around.
But before you get all starry-eyed, there are some pitfalls that you need to be aware of. The first one is time to market. From the time a manuscript is submitted to the time of publication at a big publishing house can be a very long time, sometimes measured in years. If you're shopping big houses, you'll want to know exactly what it is from those publishers. This was a huge driver for us when we created Summit Press. Our authors have extraordinarily important work to get out into the world, and a lot of their work is timely and urgent to get out in the world. And what would happen would be it would ended up getting caught in huge bureaucratic mills. The other thing that most authors don't realize is that they actually have to do a lot of heavy lifting with respect to marketing and distribution. Many authors presume that if they go with a big house, I don't have to do that. It's just not true. Usually the publishers' budgets around marketing distribution are fairly constrained in this day and age. If you're shopping around for big houses, you're definitely going to want to know what the resources are that they're prepared to put behind the book and for how long. Another big area of concern, particularly for me as director of acquisitions and a former commercial trial lawyer, is your intellectual property. Most publishers at a big house will take ownership of your copyright, and most publishing contracts will have broad sweeping provisions taking ownerships of all of the intellectual property related to the book. You must be very wary here. This is the biggest issue that we have with most publishers, and one of the things that we passionately protect for our authors at Summit Press. The other area of confusion and a pitfall for the unwary is around advances. Advances sound alluring, but unless you're Michelle Obama, most advances are quite modest. And an advance is an advance against royalties. It's not a gift. Most authors get caught up in the glitter of this and miss this small print. Summit doesn't pay advances. Advances, as I said, are advances against royalties. And traditional publishing houses require that those advances are satisfied prior to the payout of royalties. Our authors enjoy their royalties stream from the date of publication. Now, working with Summit Press will require an investment of time and money because writing a book, taking it to publication, and getting it out into the world is not for the faint of heart. As I mentioned, you're going to want to understand the structure and the schedule of royalty payout. You're going to want to understand the promotion that a publishing house will give to you, that will put with the energy they'll put behind your book. Because unless you're a Tony Robbins, you're going to be doing a lot of promotion, even with a big house. And finally, longevity on the shelf. Without the control you keep at an independent publisher, like with Summit Press, your book can be pulled from the sales shelf at any time because traditional publishing houses own the rights to your book.
So Summit Press Publishers is not for everyone. This isn't for you if you write poetry or novels, with the exception of business parables. This is not for you if you write short stories or children's books or memoir without an obvious link to your core business message. This isn't for you if you wish to write a legacy book for your family members or share your struggles to make others feel less alone. All good motivations, but not related to expanding your reach and impact in your business. Summit Press Publishers is for you if you're an entrepreneur, business professional, consultant, coach, or speaker who wants to get a book out into the world to build authority and credibility, as well as to position yourself as a go-to expert in your field. If you want clients and customers coming to you, if you want to be seen on big stages, if you want impact and influence, then Summit Press Publishers is for you. Like Vicki Suter, author of The Profit Bleed, How Managing Margin Can Save Your Contracting Business. Vicki's an international speaker, business consultant, and coach who's been showing small business owners how to thrive, not just survive, for more than 25 years. Sure, we drove Vicki's book to bestseller status, but she continues to sell books long after release by appearing on podcasts, summits, and radio interviews. Vicki enjoys the royalty checks, of course, but the real money for her book has been made by higher paying clients and her related products and programs. Or Dr. Serena Sterling, author of Pain, a Love Story, who specializes in working with people with chronic pain and medically unexplained symptoms. She came to us with a book idea and a very small list. We drove her book to bestseller status with Amazon ads and social media strategies, got her on podcasts to promote her book and related services. Her book has set her apart in her niche.
All right, then, we have covered a lot of ground. We've walked you through the process, explained the pitfalls for the unwary, and shared with you the exponential rewards your book will give you. So now it's your time. On this page, you'll find a button to apply to work with us. Click that button. It will take you to a short application form. Fill it out, hit submit, and someone from our team will reach out to schedule some time with us to see if the fit might be right. With an expert positioning book out in the world, you expand your reach exponentially. You're no longer toiling in the shadows. You're impacting people and businesses all around the world. You become the go-to, the sought after. And your book will be read long after you are gone, making that mark on the world, that dent in the universe that so many of us want to make. Impact, influence, income. If you're still here, you have a book that needs to be out there. Let's get busy. Let's see if the fit is right. Apply to publish with us now.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to being in touch.